Hello and welcome to the Armchair Pundits Manchester United post-match review show. It's your boy Monts. Well, what can I say? United's unbeaten streak has come to a halt, or come to a stop, firmly. And quite embarrassing, to be quite honest. United lost 1-0 against Everton to 10 men. And it was 10 men from earlier on. Now, before I get into this, I want you to please kindly press the subscribe button, click follow, click the notification button, and make sure you follow us on all the social medias, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We've got some real good content and some great shorts. So please comment away, leave some feedback so we can just build up some more good content for you guys to watch. So I'm going to get straight into it. Was I confident going into this game? Yeah, definitely. I gave a score of 4-1, and arguably that was definitely underestimating Everton's current form, I guess. Not necessarily their current form, but more so their desire and how they face up against United. The last few games that we've played them, it's been high-scoring games. And in United's current form, I thought we were destined to get 3 or 4. Maybe 3 or 4 was a push. But yeah, I thought we were destined to get 3 or 4 and just kind of romp on to, continue our winning streak. Well, Moyes and Everton had another plan. You could argue that United didn't have Cunha in the starting lineup, so we really only had Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Bruno, and I say only, we had those guys to create a real nuisance at the top end of the pitch. But we didn't have anybody with a killer instinct today, which was really disappointing. If I'm honest, Mbeumo probably had his worst performance in a Man United shirt. And I'm not saying it was an absolute horrible performance by him, but it's nothing by the standard that he's been playing throughout the season so far. And that was kind of really disappointing. We had control of the game. We dominated possession, as you would imagine. We were more threatening on goal, and we had Everton pinned down in their half of the pitch for large majorities of the game. Now that's probably a bit, how can I say? It's probably giving United too much credit, given those kind of stats. Yes, Everton went 10 men down in the first 15 minutes to an absolute howler. United pressing Everton to create a chance. Chance was nullified by the Everton defence. And once I think it was a goal kick was given, Gueye and Keane squared up to each other in their own box. Keane pushed Gueye, and then he pushed him again. And as the second push came in, Gueye slapped Keane in the face. Plain view of the ref. The ref deemed it violent conduct, straight red card. Now, if you're going to red card one man for a slap in the face, I guess for me, you got a yellow card, Keane, for the 2 pushes that he did. That was seen. However, I guess a push here and there, you see it every week, so it might have been a little bit harsh for him to get a yellow, but the straight red in that moment, I'm not too sure if that was the right decision in terms of just the way the game was going, and it had barely started, and it's 2 teammates and they were having a little squabble. But I guess the rules are the rules. I'm not going to complain, because if Gueye was to slap Zirkzee or to slap Bruno or any other Man United player, I would expect a straight red. So rules are rules. Gueye goes off, and from the point that he went off, Everton were at it. They were not letting us keep the ball for longer than a few seconds. They were pressing us pretty high and very early. 2 or 3 passes, getting close into their box, and they were on us. They were on us, trying to win, going over easy fouls, trying to get throw-ins where they could, taking their time, chipping, just really easy fouls, to be honest with you, and quite frustrating. Man United couldn't create any kind of fluidity. We never had no real control in the latter end of that first half. We struggled to kind of really get momentum and consistent play and zip the ball about. So 15 minutes after sending off, Everton somehow managed to have control of the game, and they have Dewsbury-Hall pressing into the box. Euro manages to put a foot in, but only slightly, trickling the ball more into a better advantage for Dewsbury-Hall, who opens up his body and slams the ball home from the edge of the box past Lemens and basically puts it, top corner almost, to put Everton 1-0 up. Now, that was arguably against the run of play. It was their only real chance that I can remember. But up until that point, Man United looked pretty much in control. So not long after that, first half basically concludes. You can see, the likes of Moyes and some of the other players running down the hall. My guess is to make sure that nothing kicks off in the changing room with Keane and Gueye. So I like to see what, Moyes makes of that later on this evening, or even tomorrow morning if something comes out. But for me, I wanted United to go into the changing room and really look at themselves, see if we can get an injection of pace, some real assertive possession, be really aggressive and just create loads of chances. Now, we came out, we took Mazraoui off in the second half and brought Mount on. That was more or less straight away. I wanted to see maybe a Casemiro come off at half-time to bring on the likes of Mainu, who's a little bit more attacking in mind. Really nothing more left on the bench. We have Malacia, we had Martinez, but these guys they're not ready to come into a game against Everton 10 men down, who are really fighting to stay in the game, because these boys will probably end up getting injured again. So United step out, and I really feel like we lacked like a real attacking threat. We were huffing, lots of huffing, but there was no real puff, no real kind of, intent to kind of make this difficult for Everton. Yeah, we had them pinned down in their box, but they were clearing their lines regular. The only real noticeable moments in the second half was a couple of sighters from Mount, Bruno, and I think Ahmad from the edge of the box. And we had one ball that was clipped in by Shaw with Zirkzee headering the ball to the opposite side of the goal, and Pickford made an outstanding save. And he also Pickford made another outstanding save for a Bruno shot from long range. But again, in the moments where you're 1-0 down and you're at home against 10 men, whoever they are, you got to punish them in their moments. It's no good to have, nearlies. We need to just really take advantage of this. And I would have thought with 10 men, United, with how our form has been in recent weeks, that we would have been able to kind of capitalize and put our best foot forward here. Our defensive shape was really quite negative. Euro and Shaw weren't really overlapping like I thought they might, because that would have created more problems in the defensive third for Everton. We were really quite, negative at times. We just went over the halfway line with Euro, maybe when he gets the ball, dribbling close to the box, giving it and then dropping off. Same thing for Shaw on the left-hand side. I maybe remember him overlapping once or twice. I think for me, the game was sewn up when I saw Dorgu come off and Dalot come on, because Dalot is definitely not in form. I would most definitely put Dorgu ahead of Dalot if you're talking attacking threat. Although he didn't really have much of a presence today, but I would have definitely said with his pace and, he scored in international break, you probably will get something out of him if he's in the right position. But he will definitely have more shots on goal than what Dalot did, who had 0. So Everton pretty much shut us out. They made 4 changes. None of them were really negative, in my opinion. They were all attacking threats. So they wanted to see if they can catch us on a break. They brought on ball players, people that can hold possession and bring them up the pitch. And United didn't have the answer. Bruno didn't have the key to unlock Everton's defence today. When you see stats like 25 shots, 6 on target, 4 big chances, 88, not 88, my point, my bad. But, 1.6 expected goals on the XG. At home, you're expecting more than a 1-0 loss, for sure. So is it back to the drawing board for Amorim? I think so. He lacked a plan B today, and he obviously didn't plan to play against 10 men. I mean, who does? But he didn't have a plan B for 10 men. Regardless, you need to be prepared for the eventuality. What can you do? What instruction can you give onto the pitch to get a different result, to get a more impactful performance? What can you do? So yeah, back to the drawing board. So for me, I'm going to end on giving the boys a rating and just say I'm not impressed. Lemem's worst day in the office today for me. He gets a 6. Do I think he should have done better for the Dewsbury-Hall goal? I think he could have had a stronger hand to it. He got a hand, not strong enough. If you looked at Pickford's tapes today, he'll see what a strong hand looks like. The back three wasn't woeful, but they didn't give me enough today. So other than Delit, who's been outstanding and who will have a 7 today, I'm going to give Shaw a 6 and then give Euro a 6. In the 10 men side, you guys you've got to speak to the manager, or you just got to take it upon yourself to press. Mazraoui, he gets a 6 from me today. He played wide right. Wasn't effective for me at all today. He didn't give any kind of real options for Mbeumo on the right for him to link up. So for me, Mazraoui gives a 6. Casemiro, he gets a 6. He got a yellow today, and he didn't really impact the game how he has done for, the last, since the beginning of the season, let's say. But also, I feel like against a 10-man side, Dewsbury-Hall shouldn't be picking up the ball in front of our centre-backs and be able to lick a shot past Lemem's with only Euro around him. So he gets a 6. Bruno, I'm going to give you a 6 as well, Bruno. I feel like you could have done more in regards to better accuracy with your shots, picking your corners and just pop it past Pickford. You've got the quality. Today's the day we needed you to score 1 and then we just go on to just run Everton over. Dorgu, like I said earlier, he didn't have the most fantastic game, but I feel like we could have got something with him on the pitch. He's going to get a 6 from me also. Ahmad, I'm going to give Ahmad a 7 because if anything, he looks like the most threatening, and he was definitely linking up more with other squaddies on the United side, but just wasn't able to, capitalize and really make anything of it today. So he's going to get a 7. Mbeumo, like I said earlier on, probably had his worst performance in a Man United shirt today. I think you want to definitely chalk that off and kind of, just restart, because today he didn't really, he had 1 or 2 chances, but nothing clear. And, he didn't really, rip the Everton defence to shreds. So credit to Everton. And I'm going to give him a 6. And last but not least, Zirkzee definitely gets a 6. He had 2 chances, 2 headers. I feel like the first header that he got was brilliant. Great save by Pickford. Second header was right in the middle of the box. But other than that, I can't really remember anything that was worth taking note of. So for me, he gets a 6. Mount came on, was busy, had a shot from distance, was buzzing around, trying to create options. So with his impact, I'm going to give him a 7. Mainu, he came on not too long after Mount, but didn't really press how I wanted him to. He could have been more effective if, he started the game a little bit earlier, in my opinion. Maybe not his fault, but I'm going to give him no more than a 6. And Dallo, he's getting a 6. Not had a great start to the season. Weren't great today off the bench. he needs, I don't know, something to kind of kickstart his season. So all in all, poor performance by Man United today against a very good 10 men in Everton. They definitely deserved the 1-0, but United could have got something out of it if they had the killer instinct. Definitely missed some players today. It's your boy Monts. It's another week down. Peace.